I'm sat here right now. Okay, I went to the church this morning, had a look around that, didn't I? And was going to find something else to do, but then I got a little bit sidetracked. I met up with Sam, had some lunch with him, and we went for a bit of a walk and had a chat and whatnot. And then the rest of the afternoon I've been on my own, and I was overwhelmed with some with just fucking negative thoughts again. And I don't want to dwell on all this too much. I don't at all. You know, I don't want to keep going on and on and on, because I know a lot of people don't like talking or being associated with people that are constantly fucking miserable. You know, but I guess the way I see it right now is the fact that I can't help how I feel. I am what I am, and I'm going to be honest with whoever watches this and tell you how I feel. So anyway, I've just been over the field. I've been putting the drone up in the air, just doing a bit more practice with that, and then I just sat down in the car and put things back on charge, and then just took a breath, and it was like I was overwhelmed with negativity again. Just felt really fucking down. You know, I started thinking about how old I am. You know, 50 years old. Don't really have anything, you know, apart from the van. I've got no savings or anything like that. I've got nothing, right? Apart from a bit of a pain in the ass debt that I'm trying to deal with. Anyway, I decided to go on the NHS and have a look at the symptoms of depression again. I mean, I ain't done this for a while, and I'm gonna go through them one by one and tell you whether they affect me. And the first one, now this is depression in adults, and this is listed as psychological symptoms, right? So the first one says continuous low mood or sadness. Now, I am in a low mood a lot, and I am sad a lot. I wouldn't say 24/7. I would say, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm not occupied, I can get rather sad, you know. And definitely have a low mood, definitely. It comes and goes, but it's not continuous. So next one is feeling hopeless and helpless. Now, feeling hopeless, sometimes I feel hopeless in the fact that there's nothing I can do to, in my mind, to better myself, to fix these issues, you know, to make my life better. There's stuff that I would like to do, but it is out of my control. You know, I can't manifest miracles into place. I mean, there's probably a few things that could be done that someone could suggest, but in my head, I don't know what they are. You know, I don't know how to move forward. So that makes me feel kind of hopeless. You know, I hope you can understand that. Next one down, feeling tearful. Now, yeah, definitely sometimes I feel quite emotional. Usually something triggers me though. Usually I see something or read something and that triggers me. But there are some times where, you know, you get some thoughts running around your head, and you think to yourself, fucking hell, what have I done? You know, I'm 50 years of age, I'm not living the life that I should be living, sorry. And then that turns into hopelessness, like we've just discussed, and then that can turn into tears as well. So it does happen. I try to be as strong as I can and not do it, you know, but sometimes it just can't be helped. It just comes out, doesn't it? You know, I would say I'm definitely an emotional man, 100%. Next one down is says feeling guilt-ridden. I don't really think, well, no, I don't think I'm guilty. I feel guilty of anything. You know, I like to think I've probably been a bit of a fool to people in the past, but I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a bad person where I need to feel guilt over anything. No. Next one, feeling irritable and intolerant of others. Now, fucking absolutely. And sometimes I have to distance myself from people because of this, you know, not because some of the people I have to deal with are bad, because they're not, but people fucking irritate me, and I just can't be bothered, and it's like I can't process what they're saying, and I just, in my head, I want to tell them to bugger off, you know. Even in Sainsbury's a little while ago when I got my dinner, people were like next to me and leering over me and talking in the aisles and cutting me up, and I get these thoughts in my head like, sorry for what I'm about to say, but I think to myself, fuck off, get out my fucking way, you know, or I'm gonna push you, you know, push you out the way, push you to the floor. I know they're all intrusive thoughts, and I wouldn't want to hurt anybody ever, but they're there, and I get irritable around these people. Even people closest to me, I feel that way, and that's why I try and distance myself, you know. I know it's a bit of a paradox, because I also look, you know, I also suffer with fucking loneliness. Strange, isn't it? Next one, having no motivation or interest in things. Now, definitely motivation, 100%. I absolutely, you know, most days I have no motivation or enthusiasm to do anything. I know there's a lot more stuff that needs to be done with a camper van at the minute, but I just can't be fucking arsed. I can't be bothered. Not at all, you know. Even going out some mornings and doing the 10,000 steps, I can't be arsed. Going to work, okay, it's a bit of a cliche, but I can't be bothered. I'll do it because I have to do it, you know. But there's no motivation there, definitely. Next one, finding it difficult to make decisions. Absolutely, you know, I struggle with that. I think I always have done, though. I don't think that's anything new there, you know. But if I'm forced to make a decision about a certain thing, I don't know, I question it, you know. I don't know whether it's the right decision, the wrong decision, and I just sometimes need someone to make the decision for me, you know. Not getting any enjoyment out of life. Now, that's our absolute fucking 100%. If you've watched me for a while, you know I got great enjoyment out of, you know, going exploring, having a look around ruins and churches and things. But because of, well, I don't know, it don't feel the same anymore. I don't enjoy it so much. I don't know why. I don't know. I can't explain that neither. I don't know how to put all that into words, but yeah, I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of life. There's not really a lot that I look forward to anymore. Sometimes I look forward to a Friday night, and I go to the campsite or jump in the van or whatever it is, and then I sit and drink a bottle of rum or Jack Daniels or whatever it is at the time. And it's like the Friday evening is the only thing through the week that I look forward to, and that's only because of the fucking drink that comes with it, you know. Feeling anxious or worried. Now, I suffer with anxiety all the time, continuously, don't matter what it is. The dentist, you know, I have a fear of that. Going to the doctors, I have a fear of that. Training courses, meetings at work, I have a fear of that. Social interaction with a group of people, you know, where you have to, I don't know, have a family fucking meal or whatever. I will go to all extremes to avoid doing them, because they make me feel anxious. Yeah, I don't get on well with that at all. I don't function very well. Having suicidal thoughts or thoughts of harming yourself. Now, I have had suicidal thoughts, definitely. Whether I'd act on them or not, I mean, I don't think I'm at that stage yet where I would. But I've definitely thought about it. I thought about it yesterday. I was right next to a train track, and I was just thinking to myself how easy it would be just to step across onto that track and wipe yourself out, you know. And I know you could leave me a comment right now saying you're a selfish bastard, Gary, you know, leaving the people behind that love you. But when you're in that mindset of suicide, You know, where you can't cope anymore. Obviously you don't want to hurt anyone else, but you have to end your pain. Yeah. Years ago I used to say anyone that committed suicide was a selfish bastard, you know, for doing what they did. But sometimes, you know, you're so hurt, you're so broke, that is your only escape. So yes, I've thought about it. Would I act upon it? Hopefully not. So that's the end of the psychological symptoms. Then it comes to physical symptoms, right? There's not so many of these, and I'll whiz through them pretty quick. Moving or speaking more slowly than usual. Now, I've mentioned on my videos that I stumble with my words a lot, and maybe that could have something to do with it. I don't know. Changes in appetite or weight, usually decreased but sometimes increased. Yeah, my appetite's up and down. Some days I'm really hungry, some days I really do overeat, and some days I don't really care. So constipation, no, don't suffer with that. Unexplained aches and pains. Now my fucking body is always aching. It is my hips, my shoulder, my legs. I always ache. Now, is that age and, you know, the abuse that I put it through over the years, or is it something to do with this depression as well? God only knows. Lack of energy. Absolutely, absolutely. Some days, especially in the afternoon, after I've had lunch, I feel fucking done, exhausted, you know. And sometimes I have to have something else to eat to give me like that energy, you know. It's quite weird, but it's like all the limbs on my body are agonizing, you know, and I just haven't got the energy to move. All I can think about is getting back to the van and sitting in my bed and watching telly. So yeah, definitely a lack of energy. Low sex drive. Well, I mean, you know, I'm living on my own, so that don't really count at the minute. Disturbed sleep, for example, finding it difficult to fall asleep at night or waking up very early in the morning. Now, I can fall asleep straight away. I can get into bed and 2 minutes later I can be asleep easily, but I can't sleep through the night without waking up. I monitor my sleep through the Apple Watch, and you know, the data's on my phone, and I wake up quite a lot through the night, and I average on about 6 hours sleep a night. But on that 6 hours sleep, I wake up, fucking hell, sometimes it can be like 10 times a night, you know, but sometimes it can be less. But sometimes I go to bed and I will take a Nurofen or a painkiller, and that usually helps me sleep, but I don't recommend that. Social symptoms then. Avoiding contact with friends and taking part in fewer social activities. Now 100%. I've got one friend, my good friend Paul, who helps me with the van. I see him regularly, but we're out on the van or playing with a car or whatever it is outside his house, and that's nice. I can deal with that. Yeah, that's nice. But other than that, I don't really associate with any of my old friends, and I think over the years a lot of people have not contacted me anymore because I was always that person that said no. Didn't want to go round and have a barbecue, didn't want to play fucking cards, didn't want to do this, you know. And I still don't. But I don't know whether that's depression or whether that's just me, but there's certain activities with friends that I don't find enjoyable. Neglecting your hobbies and interests. Well, we've just been over that. I mean, relatively new, I like to go and do the churches and have a walk around ruins and whatnot. I'd say they're pretty much a hobby, but some days I can't be bothered. I mean, I would do it if I could. So I don't know. I'm not that interested, that I've got that many interests. Having difficulties in your home, work or family life. Again, because of the way that I live, mine's a little bit unique, but they're problems, you know, in all aspects. You know, there are problems in my home life and family life. Absolutely there are. So then we go down to severities of depression, and there's a bunch of stuff trying to analyze how bad you are, and then grief and different types of depression, postnatal, bipolar, blah 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 blah. There's a bunch of stuff, but only, I mean, I'm not going to scroll on anymore, but you can only find out what's going on in your mind by going to visit someone and going to get help. Now, I've done that, right? I've done that in the past. I've seen a good few counsellors now, and the most recent one, I can't remember her title, but she was trying to figure out what was going on and how I was feeling and whatnot. But I went for a few visits, but I never started to feel better. And then she cancelled an appointment, I think, and never got back in touch. Now this leads me on to my next bit, and I know a lot of people don't want to fucking hear this, right? But if I hear that fucking phrase, especially when it comes to men, reach out again, oh, it makes me so mad. And it makes me mad, personal experience, because I have done that. I have reached out. I've reached out to people that do their own YouTube channels, right? That have said, look, if you've got a problem, get in touch, we'll have a chat. Bollocks. Done that, didn't work. The person that I sent a message to, who I'm not going to mention on here, never even fucking responded to me. Although on Instagram, the message was read by him, but nothing was sent back. Not a thing. Now, I didn't send these messages lightly. I'm not looking for fucking sympathy. You know, I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to have a chat with someone that supposedly has suffered with depression. Yeah, like I have. So I thought having someone to chat to about it, throw some ideas about, might be beneficial for me, but it didn't happen. So yeah, that didn't work. And then reaching out to all the other mental health professionals and all that, it didn't fucking help. The medication that I got put on some years back, I was waking up in the night, and the only way I can describe it, it was 1 minute I felt like laughing, the next minute I felt like crying, and this went on and on and on. It completely fucking messed me up. So that's where I am. Yes, I do what I can to become happy. I try to live a normal-ish life, and I know it's not normal. I know, you know, my wife lives in Wales, and I stay in Stevenage in a van. I have access to bits and pieces, you know, because of Sam. He lets me bath and do me washing, and, you know, he lets me, you know, stay there if I'm not feeling too good, whatever. But it's not the normal fucking life. And to be honest with you, I'm not really sure why I'm filming this, but I wish I had some wise words to say at the end of this video, because that's where we're approaching now. I don't have them. I don't have any wise words to tell anyone that's got mental health issues or depression or anxiety. I don't know, because I don't know myself. But if you do know, if you know how to fix a certain situation, if you know how to get yourself feeling better, then please get in touch with me. Yeah, leave a comment below or get in touch with me via Instagram. Now, there are some obvious ones, you know, about watching what you eat and watching what you drink, and cut back the alcohol. Don't smoke. I mean, I don't smoke anyway. Don't drink. Yeah, I do drink at the weekends, you know, but I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not dependent on it. I won't drink through the week anymore. That's gone. Exercising, well, I walk as much as I can. I do over 10,000 steps a day. I mean, I'm in a physical job, so I do keep fucking moving. Yeah. But when it comes to other things, I'm not going to be able to play tennis or anything like that because of my shoulder, and I can't run because my hips are knackered. So, you know, I can only do what I can do. But that's just me. Anyway, we're at the end of this video now. I hope you've stuck with it. Give me a shout, you know, leave me a comment, give me your 2 bobs worth. Let me know what you think. And if you've got any wise words for me, please get in touch. Thanks for watching.